Welcome aspiring business analyst. Today we are digging into some common interview questions you might face in the business analyst world. Whether you're new to this or just want to brush up, we have got your back. Being a business analyst is about thinking on your feet and talking to people. Simple as that. The question we'll chat about cover things like figuring out what a company needs and how to explain it to others. So whether you're a pro or just starting out, nailing these questions can boost your chances in a business analyst interview. So let's get started on the journey of preparation and self-discovery. But before that, if you want to become job ready with globally recognized business analyst certification course, look no further than Simplilearn. Our Business Analyst Master's program covers all aspects of business analyst, including planning and monitoring requirements, elicitation, and requirements management and communication. You'll gain expertise in the latest tools, work on real-world projects, and attend exclusive masterclass by IBM experts. Also, as a part of this program, IIMJobs will offer the following exclusive program: IIMJobs Pro membership for 6 months, resume building assistance, spotlight on IIMJobs for highlighting your profile to recruiters, elevate your career, and join our Business Analyst Master program today. So let's start with the first question. So the first question we have is, how do you see yourself fit for the role of business analyst in your company? In this kind of job interview, the person asking the questions wants to see if you understand the job and if you're a good match for what the company wants. You can answer it in two parts. First, talk about your education and mention classes that relate to the job. Second, talk about your experience, attitude, and skills that make you good fit for the job. Give examples of your past work that show the interviewer how you can help the company. Make sure to talk about the problem you faced and how you solved it. One more thing to focus on, that is the skills and the job ad mentions when you talk about your experience and abilities. Alright, now coming to the next question, which is, what according to you are the core competencies of a business analyst? So when it comes to core competencies of a business analyst, it's a key topic in many interviews. While specifics can vary between companies, there are some common essentials. Always check the job descriptions for the details tailored to a particular role. Firstly, excellent communication and negotiation skills are crucial. A business analyst needs to convey complex information effectively and work with various stakeholders. Analytical thinking, problem solving, and decision making are also vital. The ability to break down and solve problems is at the heart of what a business analyst does. Remember, when answering in an interview, emphasize the competencies you possess and can bring to a specific job. The tailored approach shows you have done your homework and you are a good fit for the role. Now, coming to the next question, which is, do you have any technical skills? Can you list your database skills or business intelligence skills? So when you're asked about your technical skills, they're basically asking about your abilities with things like databases and business intelligence. The better you are at these technical skills, the more valuable you are to the company. You don't have to be an expert in things like relational databases and SQL, but the more you know about them as a business analyst, the better. These skills are really important and a lot of companies use them. So if you have used these technologies before, make sure to tell the person interviewing you about it. You can also talk about any specific business intelligence tools you have used, and if you have worked with the system the company uses, definitely tell them. Next question on the list is, are you aware of different techniques like Moscow and SWOT? So the recruiter is asking if you know about the techniques like Moscow and SWOT. Moscow stands for must or should, could or would. It's a way to prioritize the requirements of a project by comparing each demand with others. For example, is this requirement a must-have or just a should-have? SWOT stands for strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat analysis. It's a widely used technique for resource allocation. A business analyst should be able to identify the strengths, weaknesses of a company and turn them into opportunities and threats. It's also good to know about other techniques like MOST and PESTLE to prepare for your business analyst interview. Alright, now coming to the next question, that is the fifth question. What are the various stages of a business project? Alright, so the different stages of a business or IT project are initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and closure. First, initiation. This is where the project is defined at a broad level. It involves identifying the need or opportunity for the project and deciding whether or not to proceed with it. Then planning. In this stage, the project scope, objectives, and the course of action to achieve those objectives are outlined. Resources, timelines, and potential risks are also identified and planned for. The next is execution. This is where the actual work of the project takes place. Resources are allocated and the project plan is put into motion. Then there is monitoring. Throughout the project, progress is monitored to ensure that everything is on track. This involves tracking project performance, identifying any variances from the plan, and taking corrective action as necessary. Then there is closure. So once the project objectives have been met and the client has accepted the deliverables, the project is formally closed out and the resources are reassigned. So these are the various stages of business project. Alright, next question is, can you explain SRS and its key elements? So SRS means System or Software Requirement Specification. It's a bunch of papers that explain the features of a software, app or system. It has different parts needed by the stakeholders and customers to satisfy the end users. The important parts of an SRS are scope of work, non-functional and functional requirements, data model, dependencies, assumptions and constraints, acceptance criteria. So this is SRS and its key elements. Alright, now coming to the 7th question on the list, which is what is BRD and how is it different from SRS? So BRD stands for Business Requirement Documents. It's basically a formal agreement between the company and the client for creating a specific product. Now BRD is like a detailed plan of how the software should work, while SRS is a document that the business analyst creates after talking to the clients. The key difference here is that BRD is made by the business analyst after talking to the clients, while SRS is made based on technical knowledge and requirements. And SRS is actually derived from BRD. Alright, now moving on to the question number 8, which is, how can you say that a requirement is good or perfect? So when responding to the question in an interview, you can explain that a requirement is considered perfect if it aligns with a SMART criteria. This means it should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. You can elaborate by stating that the requirement's description should be specific. All success parameters should be measurable, the necessary resources should be attainable and relevant to the project, and all conditions or elements should be revealed in timely manner. This demonstrates a clear understanding of what constitutes a good or perfect requirement. Alright, so this was about the requirement is good or perfect. Now coming to the question number 9, which is, what do you understand by gap analysis and what are the types of gaps that can occur during an analysis? So when responding to the question in an interview, you can explain that gap analysis involves accessing the variances between the functionalities of an existing system and the desired system. The term gap refers to the alterations needed to achieve the intended outcome. You can then elaborate on the types of gaps that can occur during an analysis. First, profit gap. This refers to the disparity between the actual and projected profits of a company. Then manpower gap. This represents the variance between the actual and required workforce strength within a company. Then performance gap. This denotes the difference between anticipated and actual performances. Then there is market gap. This signifies the difference between estimated and actual sales figures. Alright, now coming to the question number 10. What strategies will you follow to design a use case? So in an interview, you can outline the following approach. First, emphasize the importance of creating concise, well-defined and accurately documented use case. Then explain the 3 key strategies or phases in designing use cases. First, user identification. Start by identifying the users and creating role profiles for each user category. Also recognize the goals associated with every role. Then use case creation. Discuss the process of structuring and creating use cases by capturing both functional and non-functional requirements. Mention the inclusion of use case diagrams and user interface details in the phase. Then review and validation. Highlight the significance of reviewing and validating the use case to ensure their accuracy and effectiveness. Alright, now coming to the question number 11, which is, what is the requirement elicitation and have you ever participated in the elicitation meetings? This type of question is often asked. Alright, so it is a technique to gather information from stakeholders and users, approaches or strategies to collaborate with clients or users directly. Some requirements elicitation techniques are document analysis, interviewing, prototyping, brainstorming, workshops and observations, surveys, questionnaire, etc. You can answer the second part of the question by explaining how you have used these techniques and how they impacted your project. Alright, so this was about this question. Now coming to question number 12 on the list, which is, what is the exception and alternate flow in use case diagram and how are they different from basic flow? So when responding to the question in an interview, you can explain that the basic flow depicts the required sequence of activities for a use case. This alternate flow, on the other hand, represents actions or activities that deviate from the basic flow but still lead to the achievement of the use case's goals through different steps. Lastly, the exception flow illustrates the action taken in the event of errors, leading to the failure to achieve the use case goals. It's important to emphasize that alternate and exception flows provide a comprehensive view of how the system behaves under various conditions beyond the ideal path depicted in the basic flow. So this was how they are different from basic flow. Now coming to the question number 13, which is during the development of a system, how do you manage frequently changing customers' requirements? So it is one of the most frequently asked interview questions. The first task of a business analyst is to draft a document starting the number of changes that are allowed, and after a certain point, no amendments will be accepted. It is vital to get this document signed by the user. In case the change required is accepted, make sure to note down all the change and find out their overall impact on the project. Calculate the timeline, cost and resources needed for the change. Alright, so this was about it. Now coming to question number 14 on the list, which is what is the fundamental difference between a requirement and need in business analysis perspective? Alright, so there is a fundamental difference between requirements and needs in a business analysis perspective. Requirements are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound statements that describe what the business wants to achieve. On the other hand, needs are broader statements that describe the general problem or opportunity that the business is trying to address. In order to create effective requirements, the business analyst must understand the need of the business and then translate them into specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound requirements. Moving on to the next question now, that is question number 15. Which documents are used to capture non-functional requirements? So when responding to this question, you can explain that there are various types of documents used to capture non-functional requirements. You can mention that one type of document is a use case which is utilized to capture information about how a system should operate and what its capabilities should be. Additionally, you can highlight the use of business requirements documents which captures information about the business goals of a system and its intended functions. Furthermore, you can discuss the use of technical specifications to capture non-functional requirements, that these documents detail the technical aspects of a system and how it should be implemented. It's important to provide a clear and concise explanation demonstrating your understanding of these different documents types and their relevance to capturing non-functional requirements. Alright, now coming to question number 16, which is what is BPMN and what are its basic elements? Alright, so BPMN, short for Business Process Model and Notation, is a standard graphical notation used to model business processes. BPMN was created to provide a common language that both business users and technical developers could use to document and communicate business processes. The basic element of BPMN are event, an occurrence that triggers a process; gateway, a decision point in a process; then activity, a task that needs to be performed; a data object, information that is required or produced by an activity. So this was about BPMN and its basic elements. Alright, moving on to the next question, which is what is benchmarking? So benchmarking is the process of comparing the performance of a company or individual against others in the same industry. This can be done in terms of specific metrics such as profitability, productivity, or customer satisfaction. Benchmarking can also be used for broadly to compare any aspect of a business operation. The main purpose of benchmarking is to identify areas where a company can improve its performance by understanding how others in the industry are operating. A business can develop strategies to better compete. Benchmarking can also help companies keep track of their own performance over time and ensure that they are making progress towards their goals. Alright, now next interview question is what is process design? So when responding to the question like this, you can start by acknowledging that process design is indeed the creation of a process aimed at achieving specific objectives. You can then explain that it involves specifying operation conditions, raw materials, equipment, and other relevant aspects of processes. Additionally, mention that process design includes the determination of desired output levels, process flow diagrams, and other process characteristics. It's important to communicate that process design is a comprehensive approach that considers various elements to ensure the successful achievement of specific goals. Alright, so this was about process design. Alright, now coming to the next question, that is, what is Agile Manifesto? So the Agile Manifesto is a set of principles of software development that emphasizes individuals and interactions over processes and tools, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over a following plan. So this is what Agile Manifesto is. Alright, now question number 20, that is the last question on the list, is what do you know about Kanban? So Kanban is a popular system for managing workflows and has been used in a variety of businesses and industries. It is based on the Japanese word for sign or card and was originally developed as a way to manage assembly line production in manufacturing. Kanban has since been adapted for use in other industries and has been found to be helpful in managing workflows in a variety of businesses. In recent years, it has become popular in the software development industry as a way to manage agile software development. And there you have it, a detailed exploration of the top 20 business analyst interview questions. Each question is a doorway into showcasing your skills, experiences, and problem-solving abilities. As you prepare for interviews, remember to not only memorize answers but also emphasize your communication skills and adaptability. These questions are designed to gauge your suitability for the role. So take time to reflect on your experience and consider how they align with the expectation of a business analyst. So alright guys, with that we have come to the end of this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.